I have to be honest right now. I have no idea that the Russo brothers had one of the biggest, most expensive film made today by Netflix, literally. And I didn't know that this film is getting absolutely destroyed on Rotten Tomatoes as we speak. And this film I'm talking about is The Electric State. The Electric State is another project that has failed by the Russo brothers. You know, these brothers, they are so successful in yeah, at least with the MCU projects, that it's crazy that they've never really had any successful project outside the MCU. They made Avengers Endgame. That film made almost $3 billion alone at the box office. They made Avengers Infinity War that made over $2 billion. For some odd reason, they can't have any other successful project outside the MCU. This is more so being tied to a brand that has maybe cloaked their weaknesses as directors. I will say this because I've never really seen any project that has made money from these two brothers. Now, the Electric State stars my man Chris Pratt. Actually, I'm a huge fan of Chris Pratt. I love every film he's been in, most of his films. I'm also a hater of Millie Bobby Brown. I do not like Millie Bobby Brown. I just don't know why she get cast in many projects, big projects these days. She's one of the odd actresses I just dislike in Hollywood. She's annoying and very, very weird. Whenever I see her on screen, I cringe. So Millie Bobby Brown is literally the lead character in this project. And you have Chris Pratt. You also have other actors here like Stanley Tucci. Anthony Mackie is also in this project, which is typical considering he's the new Captain America these days. Even Woody Harrison, I'm actually a fan of Woody Harrison, he's also in this project. But the problem I have is that Netflix, for some odd reason, spent a freaking $320 million on this film. I have no clue what they are thinking in their head why as to why they spent over $300 million to produce this film. It is ridiculous. The story of this film is ridiculous as well. They say an orphan teenager kind of like travels through I think the American West side with a sweet but mysterious robot and an eccentric drifter in search of her younger brother. Why will you spend over $300 million on such a weird ass story? I don't get it. These people, as at least Netflix, they have money to waste, literally. And they keep wasting money on projects that make no sense whatsoever. Now don't get me wrong. I have not seen the Electric State. I can watch this film and get to like it. The reality is that it doesn't warrant for a studio to spend 300 plus $1 million to make this kind of project. At least with the plot I've just read out, it's just a weak story. This could be done with $15 million easily, but I understand that they will pay these actors a ransom fee just to get them to star in this project. Because take a look at this project. If you go on Rotten Tomatoes now, it has a very bad 23% score on Rotten Tomatoes. It's one of the lowest scores that you have ever seen for a Russo project. The Russo brothers have never had one hit outside the MCU. They've never really had any project they put out and they got a lot of praise. If you look at Cherry, the Cherry had big stars like Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley. I actually liked that film, to be fair, in its own weird little way. I actually like Cherry with Tom Holland. I'm a fan of Tom Holland, so mostly I do enjoy most of the projects he ends up starring in. But Cherry was a pile of disaster when it made its debut and only had a 37% score on Rotten Tomatoes. So you look at The Gray Man, which starred Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling's project, The Gray Man, only got 45% on Rotten Tomatoes and was still a failure. So this is the problem having the Russo brothers make your films. Their films, for some reason, don't resonate with the fans outside the MCU. This is a problem for those directors, and I think they need to look inwards and find out what is wrong. Why is it that they are not succeeding with anything they've touched except the MCU? It is insane. And every time they put out a project, I don't even know that they are the ones working on these projects, and I get to see it, boom, this film is out, and it's the Russo brothers, and no one is hyped for their project. This is just crazy. Now, if you look at the reviews that are overwhelmingly negative, many people are criticizing it for its lack of originality, emotions that are weak in the film, even depth and storytelling is bad. That's one of the, at least the few key takeaways from this whole project, literally. Many reviewers, including The Guardian and Looper, they say that the film feels like a derivative, uninspired rehash of better sci-fi films. You have other critics like Variety, Digital Spy, the Next Best Picture. They say that the Russo brothers mishandled the source materials and made it feel hollow and uninspiring. Then you even have people that say that it has no emotion whatsoever and had no humor whatsoever, and that's from IndieWire and The Hollywood Reporter. They say the film is neither funny nor emotionally engaging. Then some people even criticize the overuse of CGI and all the artificial stuff you get from all these big projects these days. Big sites like Mashable, Digital Mafia, Talkies, they're saying that the movie prioritizes visual spectacle over substance, calling it a trash movie, one of the worst movies of the year. And then many people are still like criticizing this film. Like, forget the fact that I'm a fan of Chris Pratt. Mostly, I might end up watching the film. I don't know whether I will enjoy it. I'm certainly not wasting money going to the cinema to see this kind of project because, to be fair, you spend over 300 plus million. You expect it to be successful, honestly. But all these projects that have no quality storytelling behind them, they all fail most of the time. And I feel the Electric State is literally a full reflection of what the Russo brothers have been able to achieve on their own without the jetpack rocket they've had with the MCU. I just feel that they are just mediocre directors. They've not been able to make any project that they could push to get the right audience. I just don't see it being a good thing for them. I just feel that they've mishandled a lot of projects and it's not good for their career going forward. So guys, share your thoughts down below. Have you seen the Electric State? It's going to be in the US in the coming days. I think it's on the 14th. It'll be in the US theaters. So share your thoughts down below. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I'll see you guys very much next time.